Japan is blessed with 4 distinct seasons. 67% of the area of Japan consists of mountains with hills covered in forests. In Japan, where there is a lot of rainfall, the water is purified thanks to the forests, blessing people, as well as a variety of other animals, with clean water. These Japanese Wagyu, too, have been raised on good water. It can be said that the environment in which the Wagyu are raised also affects the deliciousness of their meat. According to a survey carried out in 2015, there were 3.86 million cattle being raised in Japan, stretching 3,500 kilometers from Hokkaido in the north to Okinawa in the south. Of these cattle, 2.489 million were being raised for their meat. And of these, 1.612 million were the Japanese black cattle. Around 35% of these were being kept for breeding purposes, and the rest were being raised purely for their meat.
Hi, I'm a Japanese Wagyu, born and raised in Japan, and I am your guide. I think there are so many people overseas who want to ask a lot of questions about us. For example, how we're bred, or what we're fed. So first I'm going to answer everyone's questions, then give a summary of how Japanese Wagyu are generally raised. Yummy! The secret to the deliciousness of Japanese Wagyu lies in the sashi, or high fatty content of the muscle fiber. This leads to a lot of people believing that Wagyu are raised in a special way.
Farmers who raise Japanese Wagyu don't implement special methods to boost the fatty content of the muscle fiber.
That's right! We're a breed that naturally has delicious sashi in our meat. To begin with, do you want to know what kind of cattle we are?
This is a picture of a Wagyu that existed in Japan around the start of the 14th century. It was drawn at a time when samurai ruled Japan. Japanese Wagyu were originally raised mainly for the purpose of transporting things and helping with farm work, but they were later turned into a breed unique to Japan for eating through selective breeding. Wagyu are somewhat small in stature and have black hair. Their biggest characteristic is the quality of their meat. It's not just the taste, but also the color, gloss, fine texture, and sashi of the meat, which are far superior to those of other varieties. Selective breeding to improve the quality of Japanese black cattle continues throughout Japan even today, giving birth to pedigrees of delicious Wagyu in each region.
Japanese Wagyu pedigrees have been bred carefully over time in Japan. The world's top-class Wagyu is produced as a result of techniques deployed by farmers to draw out the full potential of the characteristics of various pedigrees, combined with general techniques that have been established for raising Japanese Wagyu. Does everyone know how Japanese Wagyu in Japan are raised?
In Japan, there are breeding farmers who breed calves and fattening farmers who buy calves on the market and fatten them to produce delicious meat. Some farmers both breed and raise Wagyu, but this requires the farmer to have expertise in both fields. Calves are weaned and sold on the market after about 10 months, where they are auctioned to fattening farmers. Popular calves may sometimes fetch more than 800,000 yen per head. Calves are fattened for a further 20 months or so on a fattening farm before they are slaughtered and sold as beef. Beef that is destined for export is processed and exported from export-certified factories that meet the hygiene standards of the countries that the meat will be exported to.
We're sold as beef around 30 months after birth. Some people think that Japanese Wagyu are raised on special feed.
Japanese Wagyu are not fed special food. They are fed a balanced diet of mixed feeds centered on roughage, such as carefully selected hay and grains such as corn, in accordance with their growth. Individual farmers vary the balance of feed given to individual Wagyu, or, in consideration of safety, the farmers cultivate their own roughage and grains to feed their cattle. With rice being the staple in Japan, there are rice fields throughout Japan. Here they have begun harvesting rice. But this rice is not for people. It's been cultivated for feeding cattle. More farmers have recently been feeding their cattle with whole crop silage, made by fermenting rice with lactic acid bacteria. The cattle love it. The more they eat, the more they will defecate, of course. Many Japanese Wagyu farmers supply this dung to rice farmers to use as fertilizer. That's how they contribute to regional recycling-style agriculture.
The feed isn't anything special either. It's just grass and corn. But some of the feed is processed, like rice crops that have been fermented. The dung is used as fertilizer, helping other local farmers. Some people overseas are concerned about the cattle in Japan being kept in such cramped conditions.
This is not true. Many calves are actually raised freely in green fields with their mothers. Even calves raised in cow sheds are given plenty of space in a play yard and cow pen to make sure they don't become stressed. This is a calf hatch, a shed just for calves. This is an area where only calves can enter. Farmers provide separate facilities like these for calves so that they stay healthy and well nourished. Here are calves that have grown a little bigger. The number of calves is limited according to the size of the pen. Farmers make sure that every calf is thoroughly cared for so that they remain healthy. This is a pen where the cattle are fattened. Once again, the number of cattle is limited because when too many are placed in a pen, the weaker ones are unable to eat enough, or they are bullied by the stronger ones, not allowing them to get enough rest. Placing fewer cattle in a single pen is a way of ensuring they do not become stressed. Here, the bedding is being replaced. Even cattle don't like to sleep on a dirty floor. The bedding is replaced regularly to maintain the pen in hygienic state. When cattle become highly stressed, they fall ill or the quality and color of their meat deteriorate, both of which are important factors in determining the characteristics of the meat. Farmers therefore exercise ample care to ensure their cattle are comfortable while raising them.
We're raised by the farmers with a lot of love and care. So let's take a look at the secret to raising calves in order to understand how Japanese Wagyu are raised.
A newborn calf is being licked by the mother cow. This is to make sure the calf dries quickly, raising its body temperature and making breathing easier. However, some cows giving birth to calves for the first time don't lick their calves. When this happens, the farmer immediately dries the calf's entire body with a towel as if to massage it to help it breathe properly. Moreover, newborn calves don't have the same immunity their mothers have, so they must be given their first drink of milk as quickly as possible. If the calf doesn't do this on its own accord, the farmer must milk the mother and feed it to the calf. This is how all farmers carefully look after their newborn calves. Here, milk is being blended. The calves are fed milk that has been individually formulated to suit their state of health and growth. Calves often suffer diarrhea, so the state of their backsides and dung are carefully monitored.
Wow, it's snowing and freezing.
Cattle are resistant to the cold, but not calves. So infrared heaters are turned on and they are given vests to wear to help them get through the cold. So, how do people feel about raising calves? We interviewed a breeding farmer.
子牛はすごくデリケートなので、毎朝一頭一頭体温を測ったり、糞の状態を確認したり、あとちょっと見つめ合って目の感じを見てみたりとか、そういうことは気をつけてますね。
Thank you for raising us with so much love to make sure we grow up healthy and strong.
Here is a fattening farmer. Fattening farmers buy good quality calves that have grown to a weight of 280 to 300 kilograms as fattening calves and raise them for around 20 months. They take particular care in looking after their health until they grow accustomed to the new cowshed and people. Cow pens with 6 to 8 square meter per head of cattle are generally considered stress-free. The number of cattle kept in a pen is determined by its size. To fatten calves, care is taken to raise them on a balanced diet so they eat a lot and grow big. They are given a lot of mixed feed, particularly in the later stages of fattening, to ensure ample sashi, and their appetite and state of health are checked meticulously. They are also checked regularly by veterinarians. They seem to be in good health.
Thank you for taking such good care.
We interviewed a fattening farmer to find out what he pays the greatest attention to.
最終的にはお客さんの口に入るものなので、できるだけ清潔に保って牛にストレスを与えないように育てて、お客さんに美味しいって言ってもらえるような牛を作りたいなと思って頑張っています。
It's finally time to ship them out. Their bodies are brushed carefully to clean off all dirt. The curve of their backs and overall tautness of their skin testify to their well-nurtured bodies. So, how was the movie? The deliciousness of Japanese Wagyu is the result of techniques deployed by farmers to draw out the full potential of the characteristics of good pedigrees, combined with general techniques that have been established for raising Japanese Wagyu. Calves of good pedigree are nurtured with love, as if they were members of their own families. We hope that you too will continue to love the Wagyu of Japan.